muhimu za jamhuri hii yetu. Twakuomba ututeremshie baraka zako sisi tuliokutanika hapa, na utujalie tuyatende na tuyafikirie mambo yote yatakayofikisha mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako siendelezwe, na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi hii yetu na wale ambao ajasao umesikabidhi mkononi mwetu. Amina. Good morning, honorable members. I have noted that we have the quorum for the day. I would now request you that we ensure that we do this work within 60 minutes, and more importantly, if we can do it within 50 minutes. Wait. I would request Honorable Lokorio to ask the question on behalf of Kimasop, Honorable Fanelin on behalf of Ayub, Honorable Chen on behalf of Lawi, Mailuk on behalf of Sialo. Yes. And I look for what Lolkiso will ask. Proceed for now. You will have a question. Huh? Nukupatia sahi. Oh, so none. Oh, you can define questions. The two of you divide. Hata Ayub amefika. So you just stand by. You'll get questions. You'll follow up questions. Kima Lokoria anauliza hama. Lokoria kona yake. Sir, the two of you, the one for Kimazop. Tuikong. Let's have. Welcome. You can take the seat. Can let's know who is before us this morning. Let's know who is before us this morning.
Man, before you and your committee, honorable members of County Assembly, before you is Zachary Kipsang Kiprotich, also known as Kobetbet.
Let's have original ID.
Yes, my original ID.
Mr. Sakari Kipsang Kiprotich, I have noted from your documents you are one Sakari Kisang Kiprotich, Sakari Kiprotich, Sakari Kisang Kiprotich. Yeah. Is that one and the same person? Okay, thank you. Tradition of Honorable House, we normally administer an oath to any person who appears before us. And before we can engage you, I want to direct the clerk to administer the oath.
I, Zachary Kipsang Kiprotich, do swear that the information that I will give to this committee is the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Honorable members, I wish to confirm to you that the person who is before us is Zachary Kipsang Kiprotich, is the nominee for position of trade, industry, commerce, tourism and services. He has taken an oath, and as such, we are free to engage him. Mr. Zachary, you will have 60 minutes with this committee to have a serious engagement with the committee. We expect you to help us to manage time by being precise and brief to the point. Zachary, you are before the Committee of Appointment of the Baringo County Assembly, which draws its mandate from the Constitution of Kenya, Section 7 of the Public Appointments, County Assemblies, Approvals Act number 5 of 2017, and Baringo Assembly Standing Orders number 190, which mandates this committee to test the stability of a nominee for any position. The committee is chaired by Vincent Kimboy, myself, who is the speaker. I'll invite the members to do self-introduction. I can start with my left.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Zachary.
Good morning, Honorable Member.
My name is Ernest Kibet, MCA Cabernet, Majority Whip, and also member to this committee.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning.
My name is Honorable Ayub Kibet, MCA representing our Waleli Chapchap Ward and a member of this committee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable.
Good morning, Mr. Kiprotich. My name is Cherob Jen, nominated MCA, Baringo County, member of this committee.
Thank you.
And my look shed.
Thank you.
There's something wrong. I'm saying I'm Mailuk Shadrack, MCA Tangube Korosi Ward, member of this committee.
Thank you, Honorable.
Secretary, my name is Paul Olgisoi, Mugutani Ward, MCA, and a member of this committee. Karibu sana.
Asante and thank you.
I'm Venalian Jerob, nominated MCA Baringo County, and a member of this committee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Honorable Okot Josephat, Deputy Majority Leader. And
Thank you. Well noted.
Yes. Welcome to this committee. With us here is also our clerk. I'll give her this opportunity to introduce herself and the members of staff present.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Winnie Chemase, the clerk, Baringo County Assembly. We have also the members of staff. From the farthest left, we have Madam Zipporah Koroti, the Hansard editor. We have Madam Betty Toroitich, head of legal. We have Madam Emma Kemei, the head of ICT. We have Henry Tekeiwa, the head of research. We have Kiprotich Tuikong, the head of communication. Then behind you, there is a gentleman, cameraman,
Okay.
Karanja. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Clerk, for that introduction of your staff. Well noted.
Zachary, when we placed our notice in the newspapers, we requested you for some clearance documents.
Yes, I noted well.
I would like to ask you whether you have the following documents. Do you have a valid carried tax compliance?
Yes, Chair.
Do you have HELP clearance?
Well,
Higher education loan spot clearance?
yes, Chair.
ESCC clearance?
It is there,
Certificate of good conduct?
well produced, and with the documents.
A valid clearance from Credit Reference Bureau?
Yes, you'll note them in what are provided before this committee.
Kindly let's have those original documents for further action.
Thank you.
We shall go through the same and seek clarification if any. Have you been charged and convicted in a court of law?
Not in my entire life.
Are you a dual citizen?
No. I only hold the Republic of Kenya citizenship by birth.
Zachary, members of this committee will ask you questions, and you're expected to answer questions through the chair. And these members know they are seasoned members, and they know that they also ask questions through the chair. We expect you to be precise and to the point. We also expect you to be honest in answering questions. Honorable members, I only want to remind you of Section 12 of the Public Officer Ethics Act 2012, which requires you to declare a conflict of interest. Zachary, when we placed a notice in the newspapers, we requested members of the public to provide memorandums or objections to your nomination, and I would like to advise you this morning or to inform you that there are no memoranda or affidavits from the public on your nomination. As such, we shall proceed on that basis.
Thank you. Noted.
Zachary, when you came to the assembly, we gave you a questionnaire. And in the said questionnaire, you fill the document, and I would like to seek clarification from you on a few issues.
Yes, Chair.
And the first one is, you stated that you have not been in active employment for the last 2 years.
Yes, Chair.
You have also stated from April 2020. However, you haven't listed any source of income for the said period.
Yes, Chair.
Are you saying you didn't have any source of income for the said 2 years?
For the said 2 years, I've been relying on my wife's income on the small business that she does.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
We also requested for a statement of your net worth. How much are you worth?
I have stated in the documents that I'm worth 50,500,000.
Kindly give us a breakdown.
Mostly it's held in land of that. An inheritance land from my father, which he bought. It was not from his ancestors. He bought it and handed it over to me, located at Kamar. And I've stated the current value at 25 million. I also, in the course of my working, acquired land at Mogotio, about 5 acres. And I've stated that it's valued at 10 million. During the course of my work, I also established a business for my wife in form of school. So I bought a small plot, and there are buildings, and learning is going on through there. It had become a big, with some good number of pupils, but after the COVID-19, we had some challenges. We restarted the factory settings and started from CBC, the lower grades only. So it's still coming up again. And that one I've stated is what did I put? 15 million. It's worth 15 million.
Yes.
Yes. And then I have a car, which during the seasons I didn't have a job. I left it to be used by my wife. Worth 500, a Brobox car, worth 500,000. Totaling 50,500,000.
Thank you, Sakade. From what you are telling us, you are informing us that you run a school.
Yes.
That is operational.
By my wife, my spouse.
Now,
yes.
Are you in your assets? You mentioned a land and the school.
Yes.
But they have not stated an income from that school.
I didn't state because it's not mine directly. It's a business run by the wife, and that's where we get a living on it.
Okay.
It's run exclusively by her.
Okay.
So I didn't see there's an income for me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
I'll now ask you a few questions. Then kindly, and in 3 minutes, tell us about yourself.
Okay. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, the gentleman before you arrived on this earth in 20th November 1968, named Jesang or Kipsang. There was a full moon. That's what I'm told by my dad. And then there was a ceremony. Someone Kibwale Arab Kabilang or was wedding during that time, having a traditional wedding. So I was also named Kipkulei. That is what I'm told. But what I know is when I had become a small child, I was taken to school, Majmoto Primary School, and I was born in Shewa village in Baringo County, sub-county Mogotio, Majmoto location, and Koipos location. That is in Shewa village. Taken to school by my dad at an early age, and I completed Majmoto Primary School in 1982. I was admitted in 1983 to Kabarak High School. I cleared in 1986, November, on the day that I was born, 20th November, 1986. I proceeded from there to Lodo High School for my A-levels. Did it in 1987 to 1988. Completed Lodo High School, and I was admitted to Kenyatta University for Bachelor of Arts degree, general degree on Bachelor of Arts. And before that, there was a requirement that anyone joining Kenyan University must go to National Youth Service. In 1992 and graduated in 1993 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in mathematics, economics, and business studies. After that, I started the general working lifetime. I got my first employment at an organization at home, Majimoto, called Christian Children's Fund, as a development officer, project development officer, in charge of the community social welfare, public health, advocacy for the children that we were serving, and communication between the child and the sponsor. And that was my first time I interacted with the community. And during project implementation, I found out that when you hold a position, you will not go to a place and say, this is what you need and this is what you need. We went to the people and asked them.
Zachary, I'm afraid if you take the dimension, you will not finish.
Okay.
Kindly wind up in 30 seconds.
Okay, I worked in that project. After that, I left in 1996. I joined Kimane Carrots, firm of accountants and auditors. I became an audit assistant. I was trained there to be an accountant. Attended accountancy colleges and acquired CPA 3, Section 3, Section 5. I've not completed the CPA, so I'm remaining with one section. That's to tell these honorable members. I left Kimane Carrots in 1999, joined Lake Bogoria as a hotel finance manager, where I stayed from 1999 to 2005. I left Lake Bogoria Hotel to join Lavington Security Limited as the chief accountant and head of credit control. That is where we take charge of the revenue coming in.
Zachary, unfortunately, you have not been able to utilize your 3 minutes. We'll have to proceed from there. Honorable Vanelin, we'll get questions from Honorable Vanelin and Honorable Olkisoi. You will answer the questions that they have asked.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Zakaria, what makes you suitable for this position? What makes you think that you are suitable for this position?
Chair,
you will answer the question after. You will answer the two questions after.
Thank you, Chair. Zachary, you have applied and actually have been nominated to take the position of trade, industry, commerce, tourism, and cooperative in Baringo County, the county of diversity. I think you are pretty aware of the diversity which is in this county. Now my question will be, how do you intend to use your expertise, experiences, and the knowledge to harness and to make our county gain from your experience on the docket you have been nominated to? Second, having served in the private sector for that long. And you have gained, you have interacted so well, and you are bringing to us a broader perspective. Can you describe to us how you will accelerate intra and inter-county development? How will you use that to accelerate intra and inter-county development? Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Zachary, you can answer the questions from the state members.
Thank you, Chair. I'll answer from Honorable, where she requested for if I'm suitable and able to do work in this industry that I've been given. Chair, I believe I'm one of the best candidates for this department because most of my life I've dealt with business and I've worked in businesses. And I believe when I come to the county, if you approve my nomination, I'll use the skills that I've gotten during my lifetime to improve our county. I've been ambitious to work for this county, and most of the time I've applied for vacancies, including requesting for an election to be the senator of the county, so that I may be part of the people that serve our residents. So the skills, Honorable Member that asked that question, I've acquired in my working experience. I'll bring it to the county, work with the teamwork that I'll find in office, and guide them to apply for the purposes of the welfare of our people. Guide the ministry or the department that I've been given and the various departments within it to achieve the objectives of the county, and especially for the governor and the president, who are Kenya Kwanza leaders at national level and county level, that we want our residents to have a good welfare and live a good life with good earnings. So in that specialization of field, I'll be able to drive that agenda. And on Honorable Lolkesoi, where he has asked that I've been in private sector, how do I intend to implement and set out objectives to in trade, industrialization, commerce, tourism, and cooperative department? Well, there are things that they have been doing, and I will be joining them, not to destroy what they have already set out as an agenda. But I'll be able to guide them. If there's anything that I'll want to be done better, I'll put my effort and expertise to that and ensure that the department provides the intended services, and especially for industry, trade, and all that. That is for commerce purposes, creating wealth for the people. So I must drive the agendas so that this department is felt by the residents, and ensure that the staff that I will meet there work for the people, so that all of us, including the people in this panel, their ward residents, their sub-county residents, receive valuable services from
Zachary, I wish you could be precise. I would like you to be precise. Let me guide you when answering the question. Kindly try to be precise.
Yes.
Time is a limited resource. We have so much to ask you, and if we take that direction, we may be here for the next 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Then I have concluded those questions.
While we were proceeding, some members arrived And because of time, I'll do the introduction. With me is Honorable Kipruto Kimosop, is the Deputy Speaker, and MCA Muchongoi Ward. We also have Honorable Max Yalo, MCA Mokoti Ward. We also have Mheshimiwa Daniel Tuit, MCA Ripko Ward, and the Minority Leader. We also have Honorable Lawi Talam, MCA Lembus Queen, and the Majority Leader. They had some other engagements in the morning, but they have joined us.
Thank you.
Yes.
Chair.
The next set of questions will be from Honorable Ayub, the member for Ewalil Chapchap, and Honorable Lawi, the Majority Leader, and MCA for Lembus Queen.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable, sorry, Mr. Zachary, I'm going to ask you 4 questions. My question number 1 is what are your educational or professional qualifications? 2, what's the relevance of your educational qualifications to the department you are nominated to? Number 3, what's the overarching goal of Department of Trade, Industrialization, Tourism, Commerce, and Cooperative Development? Number 4, what would key achievement or success or tangible results for the Department of Industrialization, Trade, Tourism, Commerce, and Cooperative Development? Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Lawi.
Mr. Zachary, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
If given the chance to serve as the CC, Trade, Commerce, Industry, what measures or what strategies would you put in place to strategize? Would you outline 5 key strategic priorities areas, Department of Industrialization, Trade, Tourism, and Commerce, and Cooperative Development? Question number 2. Outline 5 areas prescribed by the National Tourism Strategy. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
You may answer the questions, the questions from the 2 members.
Thank you, Chair. You've warned me about time most of the time. I'll make it brief. Thank you. So I've been asked about my profession. I've been asked about my education level and relevance. Honorable Member, you've seen that I've majored in subjects that border to trade, commerce, finance in my entire life, apart from the professional other things. I've done mathematics, economics, and business studies. I'm also good in geography. So that's my professional. I attained a degree in that of second-class honors, lower division, in that profession. I've also done accountancy as a professional accountant and worked through my entire career as an accountant also. So it is relevant to the docket that have been given or nominated by the governor, because that borders trade, industry, and commerce. So my profession is relevant to this. And on tourism, goals on tourism, goals on small enterprises, cooperative developments, my goals. These are departments that drive creation of wealth. That's for trade and industry. So I'll put my energies from where people who are in office have arrived. I believe I'll meet them at a level like this, and then we'll map out the strategies, like seeing industries that we have, what we can do to improve on it. On tourism, we'll have to see where they are, because there was a serious fall during the COVID-19 to a level that is very low at the moment. We will have to do good marketing. We will have to engage our people so that Baringo is secure. Tourists have been scared away by hearing news that Baringo is a very risky area and people are fighting. But they don't know it's a small part of Baringo which is affected. So everyone has kept away. Tourists must be encouraged. Ourselves, being the leaders, especially those who come from the area, they will have to do a good job for us for security. There have been also, tourism has also been affected by the increase in lake volumes, the geophysical changes, that all our areas have been covered. The hotels that were there, that tourists used to come and stay, enjoy the place, have all been submerged. So we'll see a way of getting those facilities back, far away from the lake, but accessible. And two, we'll have to visit tourist companies so that they put us within the itinerary. You know, tourists have itineraries, they move to Shaba Lodge, to which lodge, but they have left us out of the circuit. We'll have to talk to them so that we include on that. For trade and industry, I will have a strategy of having to revive whatever we have. I understand there are tanneries that have been established in Mogotio, light industries for milk processing so that it adds wealth to our people. It increases the value of the products of our milk. I understand that hides and skins no longer have markets. I will drive that agenda where in Mogotio there is a light industry for tannery which was implemented by the national government, but it never took off. They only purchased the machines, they put it somewhere and built a house, and then they did not even install. So we'll evaluate, bring a budget for that, for approval in the county assembly, and then revive those places and change. Instead of selling hides and skins directly like that, we will make a tannery for that. It's processed, and people use the traders of hides and skin will have their skins tanned at Mogotio within our county. We add value, create wealth, and create employment on that. And I believe I've answered the question of Honorable. I'll go to the third question from Lawi. The measures, and the strategies. I think I've combined all those questions together and answered in one, and I've answered in one way of answering. So thank you, I've completed, Chair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll have the next set of questions.
Chair, if you allow me, kindly let me show you something small. Just that I brought as a. This one is done by Engineer Sembele at Mogotio. But the materials, I asked him where he gets this material from. And he tells me he goes to Nakuru. Nakuru comes from China and somewhere else. If we could make our ice better and of this quality, we are able to make these bags. He has championed it and put a baso, Baringo, Soma. So our children in Mogotio, we are privileged to get. And do you know where he does it? Not in an industry. He does it in his house. and we buy them at 1,500. That is a value addition that we want to introduce in our county. So we facilitate those people.
Thank you, Sakari, for being innovative.
Yes.
And being the first CEC to appear before us with a practical solution to our problems.
Yes, thank you for that.
At this point, allow me to call the next set of members to ask their questions. We'll start with Honorable Kipruto Kimasop, who has a follow-up question. Then we'll go to Honorable Sialo, then Honorable Okorio, in that order. Honorable members, let's manage time. We are not doing well.
Good morning, Sakari.
Good morning, Honorable.
Yeah, mine is a quick follow-up question, very specific. But maybe before that, to the panel, maybe I confirm that Sakari is a person known to me personally from those sides of Lake Bogoria. And that is my follow-up question, a specific question, Sakari, on how you intend to revive and improve the income that we are getting from Lake Bogoria. Because Lake Bogoria is one of our greatest income generating activity. And because of COVID and floods, we have had challenges around Lake Bogoria. The revenues have gone so down. And some of us feel from that community that Lake Bogoria has not been optimized. There's a lot of potential. It has not been optimized. You will be a CC in charge of tourism, and from around that area, that lake circuit, what ideas do you have, very specifically? And maybe we also have other specific tourist areas, like we have Lake Abnarok here, we have Lake Baringo here, maybe your ideas. But for me, I'm very keen on Lake Bogoria first, and then maybe Lake Abnarok and these other ones. Thank you, and karibu.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you.
Honorable Sialo.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Zachary, good morning.
Good morning, Honorable.
Yes, Chair, I also want to confirm that I know the person who is in front of us. He comes from my constituency, but not from my ward. And I do not have any conflict of interest. Mr. Zachary, my first question is, you come from Mogotio sub-county. You are aware of, you mentioned the tannery, which is a stalled project. We have also, on trade, we have a market at Kapsigiroi, which is also stalled. And it has stayed like that for like over 10 years. We also have Mogotio Tourism Center, which is at the equator. It is also a stalled project. So I would ask, what strategy will you have? Will you put in place to make sure that those stalled projects are completed and are utilized, and the people get their value, the value for their money? Number two, you've mentioned some of the strategies that you'd put in place to ensure that people of Baringo are served well. Now, County Government Act 2012, Section 47 outlines the prerequisites of performance management plan as the vehicle for strategy implementation. If you can share with us some how you will utilize the system to deliver results to our citizens. And probably you can go ahead again and mention a few of the strategies. I can give you an hint. One is you can ensure that you do timely development of CIDPs and an annual development plan. Two, there are several legislations or laws that have been enacted in nationally and in Baringo County. Could you be in a position to mention a few of those acts? Thank you, Chair.
Sialo, if you talk about legislation and acts, in relation to what?
In relation to your docket. In relation to tourism, trade, and industry. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Honorable Okorio.
Zakaria, there's one question that I would wish to answer, and this is that you share with us how you will position the Baringo County as a preferred tourist destination in the country, offering high value, diverse and distinctive visitor experience, and honest and tapped tourism potentials in Baringo County.
You can answer the questions, Mr. Asa.
Chair, thank you very much. I'll begin with Honorable Kimosop's question, and that one I think it ties well with Honorable Okorio's question. I've mentioned previously, Honorable Deputy Speaker, a member of this committee, some of the strategies on improving tourism in our area, but we were specific to Lake Bogoria. I had mentioned them, but I will not tire to mention them briefly. I think you had not come in, but Honorable Mr. Lokorio, I think he had them. He would want me to repeat it, and I will do it.
What is it, Honorable Ernest?
Through the chair, thank you, Honorable Sakari. Please, you know, we are also doing what we call scoring.
Yes.
So don't go around. Just be specific.
Thank
I
you.
ask you this question, you answer so that it helps the committee. Because if you go that way, how will we score you?
Okay.
Just be specific.
Okay, thank you. One of the strategies, honorable members of this House, in Lake Bogoria, specifically asked by Honorable Kimosop tonight. One is to ensure we have facilities where tourists can sleep and spend around, since what we already had has been wiped out by the phenomenal changes of the volumes of our lakes, where it destroyed soy, rubber scum, and block hotels, where most of the tourists who visited our county to see those features were spending at. We will need to revive them and establish hotels better to the standards of tourism, or the standard of the tourists, visitors that we target. That is one. We'll have to put facilities standardized that they will spend, and they make excursions to the tourist sites in Baringo and Lake Bogoria. Two, we will need to improve the road networks within those places, and especially Lake Bogoria. Three, we will need to do a marketing strategy by going to tourist companies and put us on our itinerary, their itinerary, so that whenever they pass Samburu Shaba Lodge, they come straight through Marlal, come through Baringo, and they put.
Thank you, Sakar. I think you have given out 3. That's enough.
That's enough for that. Yes. Thank you. I'll go to Honorable Sialo, where is requested me and given me places where there are tourist attraction places, and what I will do to the markets that exist there around Mogutio. His interest is for the better service of the people of Eastward in Mogotio County. Honorable Speaker, the market he has mentioned at Kapsigiroi, we want to improve revenue for this county through markets. We will have to build that market. Only if honorable member has put it in the CIDP plan, then we'll, if it is there, we'll pick it from there, the plan, draft some budgets on it, present it to the Assembly, and I believe he will be the first one to support that. And then we make it as a plan, budgeted for, and then we work for the market. The market will have a reverse impact. When people use it for selling their products, we will charge them a fee and will improve our revenues. There is also a stall project at the equator called Information Center, Mr. Speaker. I noticed tourists coming, but they have become very minimal. There are a few women who are selling wares. They also don't have a good income. But the place has not been completed. It was to be an information center with computers and showing any visitors, as Bogotio is the entry point of every visitor of Baringo County, especially those coming towards the headquarters and the entire county. We will need to make a budget on that sector. It was put there, but it's not complete. If we have the facilities and we don't have the tourists, it will be a big problem. But we need to have it complete. And I think there was an hotel setup that was put there, which will act also as a stopover at the equator of the world. It's a world attractive site in that place. So, Honorable Sialo, I believe you have put it in the plan. I will request it through the cabinet and bring to this assembly for implementation and work done on that. Regarding the laws, let me be precise. I'm not conversant to the laws so much as to quote to this assembly and say this chapter. I might quote it and it becomes a wrong verse where it would be further for other people in social media that even the CC nominee does not know the places in. But if you approve my name, I believe there's a legal officer. I believe there's a legal officer that will handle that and guide me in that well.
Sakari.
Honorable.
In as much as I appreciate you are not, you're honest, I also believe that by the time you're nominated to be the CEC for tourism, industrialization, trade, industry, commerce, tourism, and cooperatives,
yes,
I'm sure you must have done some research and gotten to know the legal instruments that will guide your department. And this being a senior position in the county, I expect you to have mentioned the Constitution of Kenya, being the first one. And perhaps you can even tell us which, let me be specific. Perhaps you can tell us a law in the tourism, tell us one in the tourism. Let's be specific. Tell us one law that guides trade in Kenya, industrialization in Kenya, and perhaps cooperatives in Kenya.
I'll tell you that guides cooperatives. I'm much concerned, and I'm a chairman of a very serious cooperative. It is in CAP 490.
Don't answer your question, Mr. Sakari.
Yes.
Answer the question that has been asked by the chairman.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm conversant with the law of cooperative society. It's governed by CAP 490 of the government of Kenya laws. That is for cooperatives development. It's captioned in CAP 490.
Thank you. It's the
Allow me to continue.
It's the Cooperative Societies Act.
Yes.
It's amended. It used to be CAP 490, but it was amended in 2004. Perhaps you can proceed.
Okay.
But Zachary, you'll be doing a disservice to us if you don't tell us one law, especially in trade, because we have so many laws in trade, even industries, even tourism. Surely.
Okay, let me continue. Allow me to continue. I'll put my case before this committee. I don't want to make a wrong quote, Your Honorable. Kindly allow me to answer the question from Mr. Honorable Member Lokorio. The position of Baringo County. How do I intend to potentially improve tourism and tourism sites in Baringo County? Let me mention a few sites that I know. Lake Bogoria, Lake Baringo, the Kapnarok, the Arunin Tukanensis at Kipsaraman, and the Equator. What I put across is what I believe will put tourism and Baringo County to a Kenyan and national map, and for many people to come in. And 3, we will need to improve our culture. In Baringo, we have 2 visible cultures, the Ndores culture and the Ilchamus. Other places have no doubt about people having culture. They have become modern, and especially even in North Baringo, Mr. Speaker, I tried asking for any site or any group that sings traditional songs, and say we left those things long time ago. They don't have a cultural way of celebrating their heritage. One of that, I'll be making sure from Baringo North, there's one society that will be preserving the cultural heritage, because Baringo North, honorable members of this committee, are the real people who live in the Tugen Hills. They must have a culture of Tugen. We have El Chamus, we have Ndores, and I have not had any from Tugen Hills. And we'll make that a tourist attraction at intra-county. 2, honorable member, through the speaker, let me say tourism is not just white people coming from far, black people coming from Nairobi, but also people moving from our area to another area to observe, and they observe at a fee. You will find many people who know about Bogoria, but no one from this side has ever visited Lake Bogoria to experience the place. So we'll encourage, as a way of having our own local movements of tourism from our own people. Otherwise, thank you, Chair, for the questions that I've answered.
Thank you, Sakari. And a follow-up question. You spoke about Baringo North, yes, not having a cultural...
Yet they are the real Tugens.
Yet they are the real Tugens.
Yes.
And perhaps it's worth to know that Baringo North is one of the sub-counties in Kenya, in Baringo, that received Christianity.
Very early.
And as early as 1940s, they start doing away with their traditions. How will you be able to deal with the issue of the role of the church in advocating for modern ways of living and the need for the community to preserve their culture? How will you be able to balance the two? Because that has been the challenge, that most of the people who embrace Christians think that our culture is backward, and if we open a window for us to start having some cultural practices, then we will also be opening a window for us to start embracing some backward, no, sorry, not backward, some of the practices that are said to be against, I know you know some of those cultural practices that are against Christianity. Secondly, Baringo, there's something called Chiopak. I'm a stranger. I just arrived in Baringo the other day, and I heard something about Chiopak in Baringo. Perhaps you can tell me what's this Chiopak and what's happening in Baringo. About this Chiopak, I hear there's meetings of Chiopak. I don't know all these things. I don't know. Can you explain to us what is Chiopak and how is Baringo involved in all these things? And so that we save time, I'll ask Honorable Ernest Kibet to ask a question. If he has it, he must be having one or two.
Thank you, Chairman. Sakari.
Honorable
thank you. I think you have a lot of experience in this field, I see. And you also amaze me because you should be a good marketer. I remember you came to Salawa, that is my home area.
Okay.
When you wanted to be the senator.
Thank you for remembering that.
And one day campaign, and everybody voted for you in that area because you gave a very big promise. That was the issue of water.
Yes.
Now, Sakare, you are going into a very serious ministry.
Yes.
Baringo wants to increase its revenue. We want to change, we want to have business, and business in all dimensions. And one key area is tourism. And we are lucky that you come from that, you understand what tourism is all about. Can you give us, highlight key change drivers you would implement as a CEC to enhance the internal control environment in the Department for Efficient and Effective Service? Our big problem has been revenue. Money is not collected. Those tourists who come around, we don't, there are so many things that are in a miss. So can you highlight that? My other question, could you just give us who is your counterpart in the national? You know, we mirror the national. You are the CEC here, equivalent to minister in the national government. So who is your counterpart? Baringo, as put by the chair, is awaiting approval to become a geopark, not just a mere geopark, it's a serious geopark. Just the same question that the chair asked, what is geopark? And we want you to tell us just what geopark is, and also discuss with us key strategies as a CEC you will use to position the county, tap on the inherent benefits in the move. Because once we have this, what they have been moving around, even Kerio Chebloch is earmarked as a geopark site. We have SS. And I remember when they placed the sign at SS, those who own the land around that area were up in arms, thinking their land has been sold. But it was just it was a mapping situation. So could you really tell us how you are going to make sure that the stakeholders who are maybe the landowners and other people can understand? Thank you.
You can proceed and answer the question. Sorry, Mheshimiwa Kibet, for preempting your question.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Kibet, for telling me some of the sites that I didn't know. Chair, let me start with your question on culture. There are some cultures that you've mentioned that I'll not be telling the people to go back to. But there are some cool, good cultures that we need some preservation, so that in future, you know, we've lost our language in Tugen, especially Kalenjin. We use Kiswahili most of the time. Even our children don't talk our language originally as intended by God, because they have been influenced by the modernity. But let me tell you, you've not lost your culture. The people of Baringo North have not lost their language. They are better at preserving than the rest of us, of the Tugans. That one needs to be preserved well. We will need to preserve the cultures that are very precious, like houses that we used to live in, or what we used to do to initiate our children into adulthood, what we used to initiate to receive babies to this world when they are born. every place have their own way of receiving and doing that. We need to preserve those ones and be proud of it. Otherwise, I believe the driver of our culture, even though wiped by Christianity and mostly modernity, it doesn't affect the faith in God. So we'll have to create an awareness in those areas that don't have those cultures. Even the way you sang for a child that is born or a child that is going to be initiated. We don't need to throw it away because Christianity has come. You can modernize it and have it continuing. I go to your next question, Mr. Chair. Geopark. It's a new term to me, but I've done a few researches and gotten to know what geopark is. That they are historical sites set out and designated by UNESCO. It's an international organization that they have some values that are attractive, either geophysically or practiced by the people of that area. That's a geopark, place of interest that can attract tourists and can be of value historically. I think that's what is a geopark. Now, from my understanding, I understand Kenya is one of the 3 nations in Africa, and Baringo specifically is the only county that has been mapped out by UNESCO, having sites, as mentioned by honorable member of this committee. We have attractive sites like Bogoria, mapped as a geopark. What I've been given as Chev Lodge is a geopark. There is a Kabartonjo, the Arorin Tukanensis of Kipsaraman. It's also a mapped site where the oldest man on earth has been identified and is marked as a geopark, and we need to improve that to have people, through marketing, through optics, so that the rest of the world can see, feel, and move to the place. And in the process of coming to tour, we will learn something for ourselves and create easy wealth for our people, create employment. And that is a geopark that I understand. There are other places in the world, but I'll mention the ones that are within our county. And those are the few that I've given to this committee. Honorable Ernest Kibet has asked me a question on what strategies we need to put in place, the specific ones that will drive improvement of tourism, and tourism will drive revenue. Revenue will drive a better, good living standard of our people, and employment for that. I'll mention a few and will not try to repeat that we need to provide facilities that will, I'll say what that will improve people and attract the tourists that will stay in a good place, a safe place. We will need to put a sober county within our level, where when Baringo is mentioned, no one mentions that there is a war in Baringo or a civil strife or a warring faction of the clanism within the place. We will need the support of the county government, the national government in maintaining the peace so that we are not cut out from the rest of the world and people feel safe coming to visit our geopark sites, conservation sites like Irong that have been mapped out in the map of the world. And I understand in the ministry are currently having or positioning an exhibition or attending, officials attending an exhibition to showcase why tourism should flower and flourish in our county. Mr. Speaker, once you approve, which I'm requesting you and this committee, humbly to put me in that docket, and you'll see marvelous work and the experience that I bring from private sector to the county in action.
Thank you, Sakari.
Okay.
A quick one.
Yes.
Because of time, I think you have already answered the questions by Honorable Kibet. There are so many questions, but we have spent 1 hour, 11 minutes so far. We have to have finalized in 1 hour. Honorable members, allow me to, I'll not catch the eye of Honorable Kibet, Honorable Kimaso. I'm not going to catch the eye of Honorable Olkisoy. But a quick one, we have had an interaction for about 70 minutes. But I have not heard you talk about the relationship, how you'll be working with the county assembly. In the said 70 minutes, I didn't hear you talk about the relationship between your office and the county assembly, or you will be the first CEC to work without the county assembly. Perhaps you can let us know the areas of interaction between your office and the county assembly as you make your final remarks. In 4 minutes.
Chair, thank you. I think I've mentioned once we make budgets, we will bring it to the county assembly for approval. And I think we interact with the county assembly mostly because they are the providers of the resources through approvals of budgets. And I've mentioned that in the course of my talk in this committee. But well, when you allow me to make, I'll just escape and you allow me to make my final remarks. That I have tremendous respect for the county of Baringo, the members, especially those who are there in the second parliament. Those who have come back, they will guide those who are new. Because I was so marvelously, and I admired the previous county assembly, because even when the whole Kenya stands against them, they will stand and say, let us stand alone, but we say the truth. I have great and tremendous admiration for members of our county. And I make my appeal through the chair that the gentleman or the older man before you has been wanting to work for Baringo County from the start of the devolution government. And the first thing I shot on was to ask the people to vote for me as their senator in 2013. I was beaten by Honorable Koskei in the preliminaries, and I left at that. I've also asked for employment from this county to be the clerk. I did not get it. I asked to be the chairman of the public service. I did not get it. This is the closest that I'm almost getting to that ambition to serve the county. So when you retire to make your reports, kindly know that this man has a big ambition to work for this county. And don't let the opportunity pass my answer again. Thank you. And I say, I'm privileged to have been before you. With great humility, Mr. Speaker, consider me. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Sakari. You have made a passionate appeal. You seem to have won the emotions of the members. However, Honorable Kibet has just whispered to me that there's a challenge in saying, and allow me to paraphrase, that so many people may pass a road, But if a mushroom was meant for you, it will be yours in the end of the day. So these members will make their decisions independently,
Yes.
and we say if this mushroom was meant for you, it will be yours. If it wasn't, then we'll tell you you'll still have another opportunity to serve Baringo. Thank you, and have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
You'll
and this, the
you'll get your
honorable members
documents.
of this. God bless you all as you finish this. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, you go with it.